What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. You know, for the most part, the Clippers are a very laid-back team. They're a very, cool team. They don't really talk trash to anybody. They don't, get carried away with their words. For the most part, they pretty much just go out there and play. But I can tell you one thing, I definitely believe getting revenge next year, specifically on one team that probably in their heads this summer, getting revenge on one team would definitely probably make them feel even better about themselves, even though they may not ever mention it, even though they may not ever say it. But getting revenge on the Minnesota Timberwolves is definitely a part of the Clippers' agenda next year. I can almost guarantee you that. Because even though Patrick Beverley went on ESPN and kind of praised the Clippers and said they'll be a contender and said they're, a team that's to be reckoned with and a lot of things like that, but he also displayed the most antics when he knocked off the Clippers, or when he claims that he knocked off the Clippers or his team knocked off the Clippers. He displayed the most antics. He cried after the game and it was all so much drama queen type crap. And, I like Patrick Beverley. I do. And I like, I like it when he's on your team. When he's on your side, you like him. When he's not on your side, you can't stand him. So, even though the praise and stuff he gave the Clippers, and then, coming to the game last year, watching the Clippers and sitting in the front row with a Clippers jersey on, that was all cool and everything, and giving them praise and stuff like that, but he's still the enemy. And I know the Clippers didn't forget about how he celebrated with his new team and talked a lot of trash when his team knocked off the Clippers. And that was like his, 5 minutes of fame, his little moment. And I guarantee you, a lot of the Clippers in that locker room cannot wait to play that team next year and knock them off completely if they could. I mean, of course, you don't want to speak things into existence too much, but I'm pretty sure if the Clippers drew them the first round, they would definitely find a way to sweep them. And I really do believe that. And it would be tough to sweep them because, like I said, Anthony Edwards and KarlAnthony Towns is really good players, and they got some other good solid players on there, D'Angelo Russell and players like that. But the Clippers would beat them 4-1, I believe, if they played them, no doubt about it, in my mind anyway. But I definitely think that's one team on the agenda, I think, next year that they're really looking to face, and I think they're marking that one down on their calendar. And I definitely want that to happen as well, because I definitely want them to knock Patrick Beverley off and send him home packing and let him know who he really is. He is a really good, solid player, but he's not a great player. And, some of the things Patrick Beverley said on ESPN lately, about Chris Paul and Devin Booker and all those things, a lot of things, he made a lot of good points. A lot of things he said was right, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, he sits up there and talks like he's a great player, like he's a top 5 player. I mean, don't get me wrong. A lot of things he said about Chris Paul, like I said, is correct. But Chris Paul is a player that he'll never be. And Chris Paul's worst season is Patrick Beverley's best season. And that's just the way it is. And, he runs around like he's more than what he is. And sometimes that can be a little bit irritating. And that's one reason why I think I definitely want, the Clippers to make an example out of the Timberwolves and an example out of Patrick Beverley. Now he's got this thing. It's some reports online saying that he could lock Kawhi Leonard up and lock everybody up. He just loves to hear himself talk. And, sometimes guys like that need to put a foot in their mouth or put a fist in their mouth and shut them up. And that's exactly what I feel like the Clippers need to do. And more so, that's what I want the Clippers to do, because I'm tired of the talking, and everybody knows that the Clippers are healthy. They're one of the best teams in the NBA. Ain't no doubt about that. Without Patrick Beverley. Don't get me wrong, they miss Patrick Beverley's defense, they miss his presence, they miss him in the locker room. Of course they miss those things because they don't have that no more, and he's one of the guys that that's been there a long time, and he was a part of that culture. And you never want to see him go, but now that he's gone, he's an enemy, and that's the way the Clippers have to look at him, as an enemy. And I'm pretty sure that's the way they do. And I guarantee you that that matchup against them and the Timberwolves is highly anticipated, whether it's regular season and or whether they play in the playoffs. Because at the same time, like I said, to me, some of the things Patrick Beverley said, he was taking a little too far. I personally didn't think he should have came out and said anything about Paul George in regards to Devin Booker. The part where he was on ESPN talking about, him and Paul George talked on the phone and said nobody's scared of the Phoenix Suns, this and that. I don't know. I personally don't think he should have just, spoke all that type stuff. Whoever you speak to on the phone, that's your personal business. You don't have to go on ESPN and tell other people's side of the story and what they said. Let Paul George go on there and tell his side of the story. That's what he thinks. Paul George isn't on there doing that stuff. And then it came down to another topic where, he said Paul George is, Devin Booker's not on Paul George's level. Now, I agree with that, especially now at this point, whether Paul George or Indiana or the Clippers, I don't think he's on Paul George's level. I mean, he's close to Paul George's level now, more so than he was back, more so than he ever could have been in Paul George's, day with the Indiana Pacers. But I still don't think he's on Paul George's level. I mean, I've seen Paul George go out here and be an MVP candidate himself on several occasions. I mean, we've seen him in the top, MVP candidate, race, several times in his career. And, it's just a lot of, talking, instigating, putting things out there that shouldn't be put out there. And I just feel like, enough of the talking. I want to see the Clippers actually play against the Timberwolves so they can shut Patrick Beverley up, because like I said, now that he's not on the team, now he's an enemy and now he's an irritant. And I really just definitely want them to get back at that matchup. And I think, KarlAnthony Towns had a couple of words, after that series as well, or after that play-in tournament as well, like they weren't ready for him, this and that. First of all, KarlAnthony Towns, you're a good player, but you didn't even play against Kawhi, and you didn't. Kawhi wasn't on the floor. And this is why I say, when Kawhi is there, then I want all these teams talking trash. Then I want to see them knock the Clippers off with Kawhi, a healthy Kawhi Leonard playing at the level that he always usually plays at. Because a healthy Kawhi Leonard playing at the level he plays at, and Paul George being healthy with the rest of the team that they have now, you're not beating this team, I don't believe. And like I said, most people wouldn't believe it either. So this is my thing. KarlAnthony Towns, did a little bit of talking, but this dude, he's a good player. I like KarlAnthony Towns, but don't jump ahead like that. You know what I'm saying? Stay in your lane. You haven't won anything. You haven't did anything. The Timberwolves didn't make no playoffs when you were there. It took Anthony Edwards to come and actually help make this team better. And, now that they are a little bit better, along with D'Angelo Russell, now you want to sit there and do a little bit of chirping. There's no need doing no chirping because you're not built like that. I mean, honestly, when we saw them against the Memphis Grizzlies, they weren't built like that. You had 20 plus point leads. You had games where you were shutting your own self down, not even playing to your full potential, and your team had big leads on the Memphis Grizzlies, and you end up losing that series in bad fashion. And like I said, if they play Memphis next year, they'll get dropped by Memphis again. It's no big deal. They don't want no smoke with nobody. They just doing all this talking because they finally made a playoff game, and when they did win the play-in tournament, they got confetti and all this other crap, acting like they won a championship, and everybody in the world is laughing at them, acting like you doing all this for a play-in tournament game against a team that's not even fully healthy. Okay, great. But this is why I said, let's put the kids to bed next year when they play against a healthy Clippers team, and let's see what happens. Because I guarantee you, if Kawhi Leonard guarded KarlAnthony Towns, he would be a non-factor. And this is just point blank period. You're talking about a championship caliber type player compared to somebody who's a nobody in the NBA. Nobody really knows who KarlAnthony Towns is. I mean, they do know who he is because his name, but they don't know who he is by winning, because he just doesn't know how to do that. And like I said, to me, the better player on that team going forward is going to be Anthony Edwards. So KarlAnthony Towns is going to have to take a step back. And Patrick Beverley's going to do all this talking, but like a lot of players know, he does a lot of talking, and he's really not, he's really a nobody. You know what I'm saying? Just to be real, Patrick Beverley's a nobody. You know what I'm saying? He's somebody to the Clippers nation. He's somebody to Clipper land because he plays better with the Clippers. He fits their organization better. You know what I'm saying? That's his culture. He fits that culture better. He brought a part of that culture together when he was there with Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell and everybody like that. So we definitely understand that. We got to respect him for that. But outside of that jersey, he's a nobody. And like I said, said, he does more talking than anything else. Like I said, say what you want. I know the Clippers are definitely looking for this matchup going into next season. They probably got it circled in their calendar, and if they play them in the playoffs, I think they're going to sweep them, or maybe do a gentleman's sweep if they want to be nice about it. Because like I said, I just don't think that matchup is basically, it would just be a warm up to face somebody else a little bit better, maybe like a Memphis, or maybe like Denver Nuggets or somebody like that. And that's just pretty much it'll just be a stepping stone towards something greater for the Clippers. And I definitely can't wait to see the matchup, because like I said, I don't agree with a lot of the chirping and talking and things like that. I didn't like what he did and the antics and the way the Timberwolves doing all that talking when they did beat the Clippers in the play-in tournament. And like I said, I never forgot it, and I know the Clippers haven't forgot it, and I definitely believe that's one team they definitely want to burn next year, and I believe they will once they get the opportunity to do so. And I definitely think it'll be a wrap, and I think the Clippers will make it to the finals next year and go ahead and win it. And when they do win it, and when they do make it to the finals or get to where they're going to get to, I guess Patrick Beverley will have something to say then, but it really won't matter, because will be the point. I mean, you're sitting at home, they're winning a championship. Maybe you should have took less money to stay with them to put yourself in better contention to win one, because you're not going to win one with the Timberwolves. That's for sure. They're too young, they're too inexperienced, and they can't beat Memphis. They can't beat Golden State. I don't think they could beat a healthy Denver Nuggets. They can't beat the healthy Clippers. And to be quite honest, I don't even think they can beat the Phoenix Suns. You know what I'm saying? Even though the Suns, lost in bad fashion, I don't think they would have lost that way if they played the Minnesota Timberwolves. I mean, the games we saw the Timberwolves where they had 20-plus point leads against the Memphis Grizzlies, the Grizzlies came back in the game and won them easily. And they, actually took over the series. So, I mean, it's like, if you can't sustain leads and, be a formidable team that way, the Timberwolves are too young right now. I mean, they got a really good team in regards to on paper, but like I said, they're not built to win anything right now. So, but like I said, it's enough of the chatter, though. I can't wait to see what happens next year and then how everything pans out, for them. And, I definitely want to see how the Clippers pan out, because I definitely think there's time for them to win a championship. They're built for a championship. And I definitely want to see how it all unfolds, because if everybody stays healthy, I think they might actually just walk to the finals, if you ask me, pending on, their health and everything like that. And I definitely want to see the Clippers get this opportunity, because I feel like they're long overdue, and I feel like the time is now for them. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section. As always, check out my other videos if you haven't. And hey, Khaliis out.